common question that comes up quite a bit these days is, hi, I have a boatload of money and I'd love to bring that to Canada. Is there any tax consequence as a result of that? The truth of the matter is, there's not any tax consequence for you bringing money into Canada. However, there are very significant penalties for you not having reported foreign assets on your Canadian personal income tax return. Hi, my name is Junaid Osmani and I'm a tax partner here at SRJ Chartered Accountants. In this video, I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about what are the tax consequences, or rather the penalties, for not having reported any foreign assets on your Canadian personal income tax return. In Canada, there's an obligation for you to report any foreign assets with an accumulated cost of greater than $100,000 on your personal income tax return each year. The penalty for not doing so can get very steep, up to about $2,500 per year that you fail to report this asset on your personal tax return. So while you have to report your foreign assets on your Canadian tax return, if they're not generating any income, there's no tax consequence to you as a result of doing so. However, if they are reporting any income, since you're taxed on your worldwide income as a resident of Canada, you would need to make sure you do pay tax on any income that's generated from a foreign asset. Similarly, if you own shares of a foreign corporation, there are similar reporting requirements for that as well. Therefore, you need to make sure that you disclose that information and report it on your tax return so you're not subject to any unforeseen penalties later on down the road. In Canada, there's an obligation for you to report any foreign assets with an accumulated cost of greater than $100,000 on your Canadian personal income tax return each year. This would include things such as your foreign bank accounts, foreign properties, stocks, bonds, and other like securities that are held outside of Canada, etc. So again, if these assets have an accumulated cost of greater than $100,000, you need to make sure that you disclose this and report it to the Canada Revenue Agency each year on your tax return, otherwise the penalties can get quite nasty. Penalties again are up to $2,500 per year for not having disclosed this information simply on your tax return. If there's any income being generated from these foreign assets, then of course you'd be paying tax on that as well, because as a resident of Canada, you are subject to tax on all of your worldwide income. If these assets don't generate any income, then there's nothing to worry about other than the fact that you need to make sure you report these on your Canadian tax returns. Lastly, if you own any shares in a foreign corporation, you need to make sure that you disclose that and report that on your Canadian tax return as well. Otherwise, there's similar penalties that you would face as well. So now the intention of this video is not to scare you. If you have foreign assets that you own but have failed to report this on your personal tax return, it's okay, it's not the end of the world. There's good news and there's bad news. The good news for you is the Canada Revenue Agency has a program called the Voluntary Disclosure Program, which is designed to help people like you. It's designed to forgive people for their penalties when they've made an honest mistake and they come forthright to the CRA directly. Right? The key to that is you need to make sure that they have not already contacted you about reporting these assets and that you go to them before they come to you. The bad news, however, is that the Canada Revenue Agency has been very aggressive in auditing and going after anyone that has foreign assets. They want to make sure no one's hiding anything in another country. So the key thing I want to hit home with you is if you are in this situation, you want to make sure that you consult professionals and seek professional advice as soon as possible. You want to make sure that when you go through the Voluntary Disclosure Program, you only get one shot at this. So you want to make sure it's done right and done by professionals who really know what they're doing. At SRJ, we help plenty of people who have failed to report their foreign assets on their personal income tax returns. If this situation applies to you, please contact one of our partners so that we can help you go through this process and make sure everything is handled with due care.